Welcome back to the Blissful Badger. Today we continue painting the Skaventide box with the Prosecutors. Yeah! Hope all is well with everyone. Oh yeah? Also, welcome, Julian. Interesting Excel sheet. You are Julian, you are missing a few options. This is only showing 16 boxes, and I believe there's 23 armies? 24? Something like that. Welcome, Sedan. How's it going? Well, I understand that, Julian. I'm just saying that they only chose 4 for each of the Grand Alliances, so... Dinner's always good. I'm just getting settled in for a night of painting Prosecutors. Tea is still a little bit hot. But yeah. That's not the one that I use. Haha. So... ever since that third light went out, it's been a little bit hard, but... gonna paint up these guys today. Nice big wings and everything. And I did go with the trident for the leader, because why not? So... oh, I've been keeping track of the pictures you've posted. And the 360. He's been doing a lot of good work. Glad to see he's enjoying himself. Have you been painting any of your own models? Or is it just all of his stuff? Just curious, you know. This brush is feeling a little bit firmer than usual, and it has a little bit of a curve at the end. Tip. Wondering if there's maybe paint in the middle of the bristles. I mean, it has painted 60 some odd models already. So. Okay, what about the game? We're going to start with some glorious gold today. Focus? Focus. Focus. There we go. Yeah. Just, you know, taking care of the brush over the course of so many models, it has a little bit of a curve at the tip. But nothing too major. I'll still be able to paint with it. Oh yeah? Let's see. Early 360 title. Yeah, that's an older game. Hello, mustache. You're here just in time for the first couple of brush strokes. At some point I will have to decide what I'm doing with the wings. Do I want to do actual fire from here out? Or do I want to do something that looks different? But yeah, there are a lot of options that are not showing in that spreadsheet for different factions that you could play. So I don't know if AI is really lending itself very well for that. No, I don't think I'm gonna go parakeet on the wings. It's only from here to here. I don't want to do too much work on that. Plus, that's for the Griffs. That's not for the Stormcast themselves. They don't get that special treatment. They don't get to be parakeets. I'm just not sure if I want to do like a different color. Like, well, here's what I was thinking. Like, as far as options go. I do have this Warpaint's Dark Emerald metallic that I don't have on any of my Stormcast or Skaven. So I could do this somewhere. It is a metallic, so maybe I do metallic feathers? I don't know. I have it. I don't have to use it. But I mean, red and green do get used a lot. I guess. I don't know. Just thoughts. Hello, Angel of Death. How is everyone today? I'm gonna get the majority of the model painted before I work on the wings, just because of their location. But I do want to figure out what I want to do with them before I get to them. So, I mean, that makes sense, right? Another thing is I need to see where the other colors are going for some of the things. There is no fabric for like robes or anything, so it really doesn't have as much purple. I don't think that's a bad thing. I wonder if I can take these off. The answer is yes, I can take them off. It makes the front fall apart, though. So, maybe not a great idea, but... I wonder if I could get that to line up. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm going to take a minute from painting, and I'm gonna glue the front to the back so that it doesn't fall apart. I have to keep my finger on it right now because it wants to be in all the different parts. But if I line it up with a tiny bit of glue, not to get into the hole right here, I should be able to paint in sub-assemblies, and then I don't have to hold it constantly. Because this will make it easier to paint. So long as I keep the wings in the right order for them. I wasn't thinking about doing sub-assemblies first, but might as well. The majority of the colors on these are just going to be the same as all the other Stormcast, but I do have the wings to make different, and it has flame, feathers, and armatures, so I can do a few different color options. I'm not really sure yet which one I'm going to choose, but yeah, might as well have them easier to paint, right? There's details behind the wings that I can get to easier without the wings on. And since it's just push fit, so, Julian, what kind of playstyle are you looking for? Do you want a horde of models, or do you want extremely powerful, low count model count armies? Do you want to... What kind of theme are you looking for? Give me some info and we can go from there to pick out an army. Like, what exactly are you looking for? Like, in just general terms, not specific armies. Because... well, it depends on the horde. Like, if you go for zombies, you could go a 3-color minimum and have a fairly decent look. Or skeletons, they paint up pretty quick. Well, I figured you don't like Space Marines, but... like, do you want to go with a bunch of trolls? They're a slightly lower model count. You could go with thinking. I mean, if you're looking for something really funny, you could always go with the Gloomspike Gits. Dinosaurs are cool. Do you want to completely ignore magic on your side? Well, then Caradron Overlords would be good. I mean, they're all newer armies, pretty much. No one has a battle tome yet for this edition because it's only been out for 3 weeks. The first 2 that are going to get battle tomes are Stormcast and Skaven, because they were in the starter box. And we won't know beyond that which order they're going to be in until they announce it. Like, do you want a heavy shooting army? Do you want a heavy melee army? Do you want a... Okay, one, I don't know Total War references. Sorry. That sounds... Like, there is the Sons of Behemoth. They're the, giants. Or whatever. They're really big models. They're like playing Imperial Knights in 40k. Well, yeah, it is. I would also suggest just picking up a Spearhead box, because just playing Spearhead alone is a full game system with their own book. So, you can kind of go by that a little bit. And once you've painted that up, you have a full Spearhead, and you can play that game without even buying anything else. So if you weren't really sure, you could always pick up 2 or 3 of those and have them. I'm not saying you should, but you could. Okay. So I'm going to take a few minutes off of painting. All, 5 minutes that I've done already. And I'm going to get a book. Okay, so here is the 4th edition book for Spearhead, called Fire and Jade. And Spearhead is played on a single, what is it, 22 by 30 map. Okay. And the Spearhead rules... Okay, come on. Okay. Spearhead armies. I'm actually going to zoom back out so you can see the book better. Alright. Okay. So here's the Spearhead armies. And it's going to show you a picture of... This is the Stormcast Eternals Vigilant Brotherhood. And it shows you... These are the models... inside of the Skaventide, which will be a new Spearhead force that will be coming out in a month or so, if you don't want to buy the whole Skaventide. And this is the whole force. And then it gives you all of the information for it and the cards to play it. And those 4 pages are all you need for that particular force. Because now we're on Andrasta's Spearhead. This is the other one. And it has these models. And between that and this page, that's everything you need for this army. So they definitely kept it nice and good for figuring out what you wanted. So this is the Cities of Sigmar one. And their cards. I'm trying to get a good pass of these. So far, out of 3, have you liked any of these? So this is the Seraphon Star Scale Warhost. And again, up here, it tells you what the general is and what the units are inside of it. Okay. And again, the info cards. Okay. The Lumineth Realm Lords have... let's see. This has 26 models in it. Okay, so this book comes in a couple of different forms. I think you want the one that has the battle mat in the book and the dice and stuff like that. Don't just buy the book on its own unless you don't want any of the additional stuff. But we'll go through that. So this is the Daughters of Cain. This has Naga-like snake people and some wild witch elves and bloodstalkers and stuff. So the leader is part snake. The bloodstalkers are part snake. You've got people on horseback and wild witch elves. And then you have the Ideneth Deepkin, and they have fish and sea life that they're riding around on. And again, you can paint them up in any scheme that you like. These are just the model sculpts in the box. If you went more than a spearhead, they also have big crab. It's an interesting themed army of the waves of magic that they ride on. It's interesting. But yeah. And then you have the Sylvaneth, which are tree folk and tree revenants and stuff. So if you wanted to play Ents and Dryads and stuff like that, that's the kind of feel you would want with Sylvaneth. You have the Caradron Overlords, which are steampunk dwarves with no magic. And they have a bunch of flying steampunk stuff. Yep. But this has some pretty cool floating frigates and stuff. Then you have the Fire Slayers, which are just a bunch of dwarves with axes. And that's pretty much what they are. Dwarves with axes. Like, the battle force is it's actually 20 of the same berserkers and 5 other type of berserkers. So that's the Fire Slayers. I mean, that's a thing. And then you have the Skaven from Skaventide. This is what I've been painting. There's a lot of skin, though, for the dwarves, so you have to be ready to paint a lot of skin. And then this is the Skaven Warp Spark Claw Pack, which was the old Spearhead, and I own one of these as well. I've built one of the Storm Fiends, and I haven't built the Warp Cannon yet, but you know, I'll be able to field that eventually. Let's see. Then you have the Slaves to Darkness with some mounted knights and some warriors. So they have a chariot. I think these look cool in different ways that you can paint them up, but at the same time, it's just Slaves to Darkness. They're Chaos Knights, pretty much. Some cool sculpts, though. And then you have Blades of Corn. I played against them as the opponent yesterday in my Skaven 1. Huzzah! So this is just Corn in Age of Sigmar. So lots of close-in fighting and charges and stuff like that. And then you have Disciples of Tzeentch. I have all but the Magister out of this, and I have something else that I have a disc of Tzeentch with, so I could theoretically paint up the rest of the models and play this in the future, just with the Magister being subbed out for something else on a disc. Yes, I won my first game. It was a major victory, too. So, but yeah, I should be able to field all of this once I paint up the last model kit bash. So, that's pretty cool. And then you have the Maggotkin of Nurgle, which do have the Pusgoyle Blight Lords, which are pretty cool flying creatures. You get to have Scrivener, and you get to have some Putrid Blight Kings. So again, I think Maggotkin of Nurgle might actually be cool. If you like the Great Unclean One and like to go into Nurgle, it's not bad. I mean, if you want to paint it, there's a lot of flesh here, but it's putrid flesh, so a little bit different. I don't know. It's interesting models. Yeah. And then you have the Head Knights of Slaanesh, which I think they paint them a certain way, and I think you could paint them in cool other colors too. I don't know. Slaanesh is a cool force, but if you notice, it doesn't have the centerpiece model as much. But that's okay. Then you have the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. I think I just bumped my secondary camera, but whatever. So this has a whole bunch of bony armored things, undead creatures and stuff, like the Gothazar Harvester. I mean, it's weird looking. You know, bone horses. I don't know. I probably just hit it again. But yeah, that's the weird harvester thing. And there's the Death Riders. So you have those. You have the Soul Blight Gravelords, which have the Blood Knights and Vargheists and a whole bunch of skeletons. This has a bunch of vampires and stuff. So if you wanted to go into the vampire theme with some skeletons and stuff, Soul Blight's probably good. And then you have Night Haunt, which are all the ghosts. So if you wanted to go with an ethereal, ghosty type of army, that would be the right one. These are supposed to be really fast to paint if you just grab one or two of the speed paints. You can go pretty quick on those. And then you have the Flesh Eater Courts, which have the... what are they? These guys are riding the ghasts from the other one. These guys in lore think that they're a highborn noble house, whatever, and don't realize that they're ghouls and all that stuff. Interesting. He's wearing someone else's head as a hat. That's a flayed body, you know. If you want to go with that kind of gore, random body part excess and stuff. This is cool, but eh. Then you have the Oryx. These are what I'm going to eventually paint as my cool boys. I could build this army right here if I got a kill bow. So I have the rest of this that I would just have to paint up. But mine are going to be swampy and blue instead of the almost nurgly green that they're painted as. So then you have the Gloomspite Gits, where you have Moonclan Stabas, and you have a Loon Boss, and you have Squig Hoppers, and you have Troggoths. So there's several different aspects of this army, and the Squig Hoppers, you can also get Boingrots and stuff like that, and they're kind of they don't hold themselves to as much seriousness depending on how you build them. But again, this has 34 models in this one spearhead. So, depending on how you want to go, that you can build an almost all Troggoth army for Sigmar, not Spearhead, but this is the Spearhead army right now. And the Moonclan Stabas are really small and, you know, they're there. They're for having a whole bunch of models. And then you have the Ogre Maw Tribes, which are like Lead Belchers and Mammoth Riding dudes, and these I don't see very often, but they are a cool look to them. These I'd say are probably, I mean, I've never played them, but I think this would feel kind of like the destruction version of Custodes, maybe? I don't know. But the Iron Blaster and the Lead Belchers and the Mournfangs, they're interesting models based on what I've seen. I mean, you've got, I mean, they're pretty much trolls. They all have, you know, 4, 6, 8 health. And then you have the Sons of Behemoth, which has 3 Man-Crusher Gargants in it. This isn't actually a spearhead. This is something you have to purchase single models, I think, for. But they are the giants. And that's it. Then you get to the rules. So that's all the different armies. So which 3 most interested you as far as aesthetics? Out of curiosity. Did you find a couple that you liked the best out of that? Or still undecided? Flesh Eater Quartz? Flesh Eater Quartz. Yeah, what's it called? Okay. So the Fire and Jade gaming pack does not have the book. Yeah. Honestly, because the gaming pack does not have the book, eBay might have something from Skaventide broken up where you can buy the different separate aspects of it. The 4 pieces of terrain, the board, and the book. Yeah, the Spearhead book and Fire and Jade. Yeah. Those are the things that you're going to need. eBay probably has the Fire and Jade book from Skaventide for probably $20. I haven't looked, but usually those things are available as, you know, people break them up into separate pieces for people. But the rule book, the Spearhead, and the pack of the Fire and Jade pack with the terrain and stuff, it should, all 3 of them, come to about $200 total. So and then if you like the army and you want to expand on it, you can choose models as you feel you like. You know, so long as the regiments are available. But getting into the Spearhead gives you a good start, and from there you can decide if you want to continue with that army. And another cool thing Once you have this book, even in 5 years, you can play this game. Because this has the whole rule set. Man, I got one color on one model so far. These might take me 2 days to paint. Maybe more. I honestly could see myself getting 2 or 3 other spearheads eventually, but none of them interest me enough to go and stop projects that I currently have in the works. Let's see. I would have an interesting time with the Ogre Maw tribes and the Gloomspite Gits, I think, if I were to add anything. Sylvaneth is a cool idea, but I don't know if I actually would want to paint them. And I think 1 or 2 of the other armies I like certain aspects of, but not the spearhead itself. Like, honestly, even the I would rather have a whole bunch of Gloomspite Boingrots and Squig options with a side of trolls instead of the night goblins or whatever. They don't interest me as much as far as the aspects of the army. Yeah, Lumineth is cool, but I just don't feel drawn to it. I would end up with a Lumineth army only if I ended up finding a really good price on Isle of Blood. And I would just use them as models for it. But I do like the Truggoth and Boingrot aspect. The Maw tribes don't really work very well as a Sigmar 4th edition with the index rules, but it's supposed to get better when the book comes out. But I just like the models. Yeah. Other factions I think would look good as long as they weren't painted up the way that GW paints them. I just don't like the schemes, but the models themselves would be cool. Like, there's some pretty cool Daughters of Cain models. But I also don't feel the need to paint a whole bunch of flesh on most of my models. But yeah, that's the spearhead stuff. I do like that of the there are 3 models overall that if I kit bashed or proxied in, I would have 3 additional Spearhead forces I could play. Yeah, I think I'm 3 models shy of 6 spearheads. If I actually got around to building and painting them all. Which is pretty cool. He could have. I think I chased some people away talking about the book for so long. But that's okay. But I mean, I think Sedan went to have dinner. Julian's probably gone to look at purchasing models. Angel of Death is probably still cleaning and organizing things. Yeah, you know. It's a normal night, right? See? Yep. And I'm still painting gold on these three guys. So. But no, I am looking forward to getting Skaventide done. It's been a lot of fun, but it is also reaching that point where it's like you're doing it because you're so close to being done instead of because it's fun. No, I'm still having fun. It's just every now and then I just want to work on something different. So, I mean, it's been a little over 3 weeks, so the newness has worn off. I feel great that I got all but one of the Skaven painted and then got to play a game. I still have, one more to paint of that. The basing is going to be fun and not too rough. I mean, I'm working on it. I haven't given up, but every day I come in this room and I look over that way and I'm like, I have so many models and I'm choosing the same thing over and over. Like, I wouldn't mind painting up a few, finishing some of the Starship Troopers models. I don't know, just something new to do. Or, I don't know. I haven't painted any Tau in a long while. Actually, no, I don't feel like painting any Tau right now. That one I can affirm isn't on my list, but no, it'll be good when I get it done. Just out of curiosity. They are definitely thin. Okay. I finished the gold. I don't remember how I painted the shields. Okay. Silver base, purple, red copper secondary, gold details. Okay. That took over an hour to paint one color. Whatever. Let's go to the next one. So, with looking at the Bretonian stuff, looking at another army, looking at continuing something. Anything in particular? Okay. Okay. I was just curious if it was the same project or if you were looking at something yet again to distract yourself. Oh, I did not finish the gold on this one. Because I decided to do extra gold details. Yay. No, I have to say, I spent about 2 hours today looking at models as well. Sometimes enough of an excuse is I really like that particular model. Yes, racing snails. I agree that too, but sometimes you buy the model because you want it. No need to find an excuse for it. Just I've been watching some other YouTubers talk about Infinity. Well, a couple of other painters talk about Infinity lately because I guess movie and stuff. But I've I like the look of certain ones, but I wouldn't get it to learn how to play the game. I just but there are certain aspects that I like, certain models that I like, but I chose War Machine and Hordes 15 years ago ish, and I don't have need for another game system. But as far as just having cool sculpts and everything, yeah, there's some that I really like the look of. I don't know the names of them offhand, but there are some models that if I just wanted to paint a couple of cool things, they're pretty cool. Um, um, I mean, it's in a fourth edition now, and some of the old armies have broken into multiple different ones, and I don't know. I think it's really cool for models. They're not too expensive, but I don't want to learn a whole new game system to play a couple of models. If I want to learn a new game system to play the game, it's a different story. Like, I am going to be learning Alpha Strike and Battletech, but I like the concept of it. And I'm not against metal models, but I don't need to be buying a whole bunch of them right now. And when I say right now, I mean like actually right now. Yeah. The things that I remember, I can't even find in like just looking at pictures and stuff. I don't even know where they would have been. And the storyline has progressed quite a bit since I was putting time into researching it. So, I don't know. But I don't know. If I ever happened to cross a couple of them and I liked them, I'd probably purchase them. Little palate cleanser type things, but it's not something that I feel the need to learn a whole new game system for. Ugh. But yeah, honestly, I think I've found so many different things recently. And, between Skaventide and the couple of things I found at the swap meet and getting into BattleTech, I've kind of hit my limit of new things added to the collection that, I'm not actively looking at getting a whole bunch of other things right now. Plus, I have goals for the year of getting through some of these armies to 1,000 points, and I don't actually know if I'll get as many as I would like to that point this year. I mean, one of said armies is my Stormcast, so I am actively working on that right now. But, I haven't even finished the first Cruel Boys. I still haven't even finished my first Custodes model. There are armies that need a lot of work, and they're not going to get there by the end of the year if I keep looking at other things instead of trying to work on them. So, I mean, I am super happy with the progress I have made this year. I wouldn't consider not hitting my overall goals a negative. I did set a fairly heavy-duty goal. But I do need to work on them. Hello, Dream Big. How are you this evening? What have you been working on lately? Okay. How's that going? I haven't worked on any 12th scale models, so... I'm guessing there are a few unique challenges to that scale compared to 28 mil. Oh, okay. 1/12 scale, so probably about that tall. Stormcast for scale. Yeah, that's like... Oh, it's bigger than Armiger scale, right? An Armiger, right? That is kind of wild. It sounds interesting. Are you planning on adding to the paint job or just keeping it pre-painted? That's fair. That's fair. I'm just working on these prosecutors, and I was saying a little bit earlier, I'm not hitting burnout, but there has been a little bit of loss of excitement for this. I'm still excited for it to get done, but the consistency of been over 3 weeks starting to get a little bit just slightly starting to get a little bit repetitive, I think. So, but at the same time, these are 3 of 11 left for the whole box. So, I mean, can I make it 8 more models? I think so. Well, finish these and 8 more. I don't think it's that impossible, but I have been feeling a little bit more drained after painting. I don't know. Yeah, they are coming along nicely, and I did get to take a break yesterday while working on those basing materials, so, you know, there's still projects I can do that remove some of the repetitiveness from it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the good news is it is 2 separate armies, so I have been able to go back and forth with them. If I had tried to just paint the Stormcast or just the Skaven and not the other parts, I think that would have been even worse. But yeah, I think that metallic green for the wings is gonna happen. And when you realize that it's just about 2,500 points, but not one army, so it's only half of, you know, it's 2 half armies. Yeah, there's a bit more to go. But no, I think it's good that I'm gonna get this done, because I will finally be able to say that I've painted a launch box from start to finish. I've learned a lot. Oh, yeah. So I'm thinking for the actual wing part, not the flames, but the wing, to use the Dark Emerald Fanatics War Paint. Because these are the red copper, and I haven't used the Dark Emerald on anything, and I have it, so. Yeah, thanks. I had a lot of fun painting the Griffin, and I still have the little companion Griff that I need to paint up too. Yeah. But I think I'm gonna do the wings like that. just to break up the color scheme, because these guys don't have the fabric, so they're not going to have any of the, well, they have the sword, so they'll have the green, and they'll have the purple on the handles, but they don't have all of the fabrics, so they're not going to have anywhere near as much color. So I figured using the metallic green would have them stand out a little bit. But yeah, it's I mean, daily for over 3 weeks. That's a lot. I mean, it's not last week's weekend's 17 hours and 2 days, but at the same time, that probably didn't help any. Okay. I also don't think I slept as great as I thought I did last night. I've been having a hard time sleeping lately. Alarms and stuff as well, but yes, with tufts. Yeah, honestly, if I can get them all painted this week, I might be basing things this time next week. Yeah. I don't think disrupted sleep is great for anyone. So but all right. Let's do pale sand. No, I mean, like I said, I was able to take some time away from everything I needed to do outside of painting for 2 weeks, and now we're 3 weeks in. So it happens. Life, you know? So I don't want the alarms to stop. They're not bad. They're just not as restful. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, these are fun models to paint. It's either rats or Stormcast, and it's like, okay. What about painting? Let's see. What's a good example? What could I be painting instead? Ooh, some Tyranids. Tyranids could be good. I could go for some Tyranids soon for painting. I do look forward to the Battletech. That'll be something different. Yep. I would actually like to get the I always forget the name of it. The Perdita family painted up. I think that could be fun. Over the course of maybe 3 or 4 streams, maybe? No, I don't need another 12,000 points of Tyranids. I need another 500 points or so of Tyranids to hit 12,000 points, and then I actually need to paint them all up. But yeah, the Perdita family for Malifaux, I think that could be fun to paint up over the course of a couple of streams. They all have cool characterizations, and I think I would want to paint them one at a time. And once I had a color scheme going, I would use similar colors, but paint them all unique, one at a time. So maybe not 2 or 3, maybe like 6 or 7 streams, but I think it would be fun to just give a character some time each. But something like that could be fun. Getting a couple more of my armies to the 1,000 points would be nice. Like I said, several of them are not too bad. Yes, it's the Malifaux. I've never played, but I liked them enough to purchase a couple of forces. Or a couple of options to play as guild. There were a couple of other models that I liked, but I figured if I was going to go with new game, I should try to keep it to one particular faction to start. But I thought that might be fun to paint up a couple of things. More of a single character type thing here and there. I do think I'm going to hold off on opening my Cursed City and Blackstone Fortress boxes until next year. But I'm already thinking about how maybe I'll try to get both of those fully painted next year. And I guess I should add Shadows over Hammerhall as well, because I have them built, but I haven't finished painting them. Hello, Tiny Fox! So, I'm thinking those boxes might be a good idea for 2025. And, you know, filling out the rest of the armies that I didn't quite hit 1,000 of for this year if I don't do those. So, I'm thinking that might be a good goal for next year. You know, we're only halfway through this year, so just over. But I'm just thinking about palette cleansing options. I mean, I have these 3 models and 8 more, and then I'll have Skaventide done, and honestly, I could use a side project right now. So, no, we've only gone through 7 of the 12 months. 3/4 would be October. Don't do that to me. Yep. That Skaven Lord's gonna be fun. Yes, I know Orktober is going to be there, yep. But yeah, Orktober, I'm gonna be working on orcs for the month, so. I'm not going to set out myself a goal of like painting 78 models or anything like that. 1,000 points of orcs last year was really fun. I think setting a point value would be easier than a model count number. And I do have to do my kit bash Stompa, so I'll get that done by then, by the end of October. So I will eventually get that project done. But yeah, with the whole plan of 1,000 points per army based, battle ready, if I can get to that on even 80% of my armies, I think that would be great. At the beginning of the year, I think I had 2 to 1,000 points. So, and I think I can get to like 10 or 11 easy enough, but I don't know if I can get all 17 to that point. So, oh, yes. No, I'm not going to get 79 models done. I easily have that many orc models to paint. But I'm not in any hurry to get through all of them. It's like you're all trying to make me more insane than I already am. It's like, yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I have 88 orcs built and not painted, and 153 not even built. Like, that's, But no, as far as points, just about 6,000 points. Total. So, and I'm not going to go out and buy another 6,000 points of orcs. So, that's a little bit of extreme. A little extreme. Going on to Emerald. There's not a whole lot of Emerald on here. The Orc army will eventually be larger than that. The Orc army is not going to reach that this year. Unless I find an extremely good price on something. Like, extremely good. Like when I bought 32 Orc Boys and a Pain Boy for $20. I can't say no to that. No, I mean, it's just the matter of, unless there's a really good sale, like a Christmas Battle Force that's like half the price, maybe even better than that, Maybe I'd have to get more, but I'm not in a need for orcs at the moment. I have a backlog. I am looking forward to getting through some of that backlog. I don't need to add to it right now. No, I'm just like, I didn't plan to purchase the last Space Marine lot that I did, but when the opportunity arose to buy almost a 2,000 point army for about $100, I mean, seriously. Did I even tell you all about that? No, I think there's something to be said about having like a whole bunch of cool models for an army idea. I play Oruk, you know, the Cruel Boys, but there's a part of me that's like, oh my goodness, that Dragon Rider Orc is a cool model. But I still have my whole Imperial Knights army ready to prime, you know, to paint up. It's all primed. Still haven't even done that. Okay. Oh. I read the other short story. It was good. I enjoyed it. Still looking for some of the novels, but every little bit that I can find is cool to read. I'm feeling like I want to read a lot more again. Which is going to be great once I'm done with daily painting, but not before that. So still haven't made it to the library to find out if they have any of the books. But I do know that they have a few of the books online. Not the novels from earlier, but they have some content that's online, so I might have to get some of that. Yep. Yeah, if the library doesn't have the novels, I'll start looking online for options. eBay is occasionally okay with books. Amazon's usually a little bit more expensive because you can't find lots for sale. What is it? Painting and thinking at the same time. That's sometimes dangerous. I need to get this little bit right here, and then the green will be done. Or emerald, whatever. Alright. There we go. That's another color done. What was it? Yeah, there's... Catalyst has a few free download things for, like, campaign modules and stuff, so... It might not be novel, but still stuff that's in universe that I can read, so... I downloaded some of their free stuff already. I just prefer to read novels if I can first. Alright. I guess I can work on the purple now. After this, I have the leather brown, and then technically I'm on the silver. Like, I might get to a point where these guys are ready for a wash, except for their wings tonight. So, that might be pretty good. I might be able to get there. Or I might not. If I just have to do the wings and the wash tomorrow, that's not horrible. I am glad that I realized I could just put a tiny bit of glue in and work on them as two separate pieces. I would not have been as easily... It would not have been as easy to paint if I had to do it all in one. So... Mm-hmm. I'm glad that they were push fit and easily removable to then have that be the situation. Because I wouldn't have wanted to glue it on and then pop it off, but since it was a peg, it was like, yeah, okay. It'll slot back in. Oh. Tomorrow I'll also paint the tower, the things that they're standing on, because that'll need work too. Or I can wait until I base them for that part. I'm not too worried about which one which order I do that in. It'll have to be done before they're done, but so yeah, they're still. Come on, light fix. Brighten up. Brighten up. So everything that is black still needs either silver or brown. So not horrible. And I got about 30 minutes left. Yeah. I think I can do that. I think I can do that. Yeah, I like the fact that the majority of this is 1 to 2 days of painting per unit. Like, that's actually not bad for getting through models. I'm gonna dump a tiny bit of burnt umber into that leather brown. Not quite as dark as I would like it to be. Yeah. I mean, even at 2 days per work, you know, to do one, that's not bad. If that means, you know, you only get to paint on the weekends, and you paint a unit every weekend, that's still a very good amount of painting and progress for a year. I mean, again, I'm not going for the highest quality. This is definitely more than a battle-ready solution to them. You know, once they're based, they're well past the 3-color minimum. I wouldn't say that they're, you know, parade ready or anything. I think that's a little bit higher skill needed, but like, I'm not actively spending hours highlighting models. But I am definitely happy with the quality they're getting at. Like my Skaven on the battlefield yesterday, that was an amazing feeling, having a fully painted army on the battlefield. That might have actually been the first time I ever had a fully painted 2,000 point army on the field. So I might have done it. No, I've done it with my Blood Angels. More than half of my army was based as well, though, since I was using models from before as well. But still, it was wild. Okay, that's one of the three. Brown. That one took a little bit less time. The first one took me almost 10 minutes, so I'm glad the next one only took me 5. A lot of straps, and they're all in little hard to reach spots, so just one at a time to get them done. Oh yeah, and we still haven't decided on the fire for the wings. I think I'm gonna just do them like the actual flames. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking that I already have actual flames on several units, and the way that this is coming off of the wing, I mean, if this part is metallic, maybe the yellow will show up better as a pointer. So, if I do... Okay. Let's get this to work, and then I can... Okay. If I do this part with the red copper, the mechanical bits, and I have this as the emerald metal, and then I do this part as the actual flame with the smoky ends and the yellowy color, it'll go from a green metal to a yellow to smoky. Which actually means that I start with this part tomorrow and do the dry brush and then the metal. And then the backpack part, I can probably do gold with that because it's, or maybe silver. Silver might be good for that part right in the center. But I do think I want to do the, well, I don't know. I'll decide if I want to do silver or red copper for that. Silver and green wings might actually look better. So, that's for tomorrow, though. I am going to stay long enough to do the silver layer on this stuff, though. Because if I don't get it on here now, it's not going to be ready for the detail work or wash tomorrow. I'll probably be able to finish these guys tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of work, but I should get it. I can't see what I'm doing for a second there. Okay. So what do you think for colors? Which of the colors should I use for the mechanical bits? Not saying I'm going to follow whatever you say, but I am curious what your thoughts are. Well, that's a good thing. I have a whole day to think about it. But the options for the mechanical, the wings, the fire, like the little bit in the middle. Well, other than the what was it? What am I thinking? Other than the glyphs, I don't have any blue on them. Like, the emerald has a little bit of blue to it, and the purple is, I mean, a mixture of red and blue. But I don't actually have blue on them. Also, that's kind of the color scheming for the Skaven with the denim. Like, these guys actually have a lot of color similarity with my Disciples of Tzeentch, but not enough to look like the same army. I have a day to think about it. Part of me is thinking, since it's an external bit, I shouldn't do the red. But at the same time, I do have the red on the shields. And it is still part of the thing that they're doing. I don't know. There's so many different options. Hey, Julian. I'm just finishing up the silvers on these guys for the night. And we're gonna paint the wings tomorrow. Yeah. Did you choose one? Did you choose an army? Like, I know you were deciding on Flesh Eater Courts, but did you actually go with it? Did you order? I'm curious. Hey, Sedan. Welcome back. Yeah. Ten dragon mages. Okay. I'll actually be a little upset if they don't release a Skaven Cav unit. I want rats riding rats. I mean, if you think about it, all the other armies get cool cavalry, right? I mean, well, not all of them, but the majority of them have riders. How come the Skaven don't? They deserve it. Yeah. Thankful, followed by some cav, and a claw lord on Knob Beast as the second detachment leader. And all it is a bunch of, you know, rats on rats. I mean, isn't that kind of what the Rattling Warp Blaster looks like? 4 rats pushing another rat with a big gun? Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing these tomorrow. I still have a little bit of detailing to do, not just the wash on these, but looking at the shields and stuff, they need more than just to be silver. Okay. That is the silver. So, these guys are going to stay right here on my desk for the night. And, honestly, they're just jumping right now. They're just regular dudes with spears and jumping. Don't mind the huge hole in the back. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a good weekend. And, we'll do another one of these tomorrow, where I finish these guys up. So, until then, I hope you find your bit of bliss. Good night.